We're going to talk about the second commandment. Do not take the Lord's name in vain. And you'll see how this equates to Ed Crunchme's statement here. His statement is that, oh, these atheists are so enlightened. Look at people like Hitler and Stalin, Mao, Pol Pot, Kim Jong-un. They were so enlightened. They brought freedom and liberty to societies. Now, the reason why I want to initially start out with the Second Amendment, because I want you to think about something. Many people don't understand what the Second Amendment actually means. When Christian doctrines today in our culture takes the Second Amendment as to do not take the Lord's name in vain, it's the saying like, oh, you stub your toe and you say, God damn, right? That's taking God's name in vain. But no, that's not what it meant to the people who actually wrote it. To the people who wrote it, it meant do not do anything negative in the name of your God. You understand? So if I were to see a person walking down the street and I say, in the name of God, I kill you. I smite thee in the name of God. But you haven't been commanded like Joshua was commanded to genocide the whole town of Jericho and Ai, then you are taking the Lord's name in vain. So let's think about that and look at his statement. So I do not doubt, I'm not saying that atheists, there have been some atheist leaders who have done some terrible things, and Hitler is debatable as for whether or not he was atheist or a theist. But I am not saying that there are not atheist leaders who have done these things. But King Leopold of Belgium was a Christian, and he killed 10 million Congolese people for money and for land and for riches. Did he give the Congolese people, did he bring them freedom? Did he bring them liberty? Or did they already have that within their country before he got there, before they carved up Africa and made Africa European colonies? And speaking of all these European colonies, were they Christian? Did they bring the people liberty who was living in their own countries, doing their own thing? Had their own governments, and the people had their own, and they had their own laws. Did they bring them freedom? Did they bring them liberty? No, they brought them slavery and colonization. Christians. How many Africans died over the centuries because of Christians coming to Africa? Oh, and it doesn't stop there. It doesn't stop there. You know, in the late 1400s, Pope Nicholas V said, hey, I need you to go down into West Africa, Belgium and Spain, and because God has deemed it so, taking the Lord's name in vain, put those people into slavery and force them into Christianity. So did the Portuguese and the Spanish bring liberty and freedom to the people of West Africa? Or did they bring slavery and destruction of their society and culture? Ordained by God. And if you don't like the Catholics and the Pope, when they came to the Americas, the indigenous people, did they bring them liberty? Did they bring them freedom? I mean, you had these Native American tribes who are already living in freedom, already had liberties, having their own sources, their own versions of government, having their own societies, living free on the land. Didn't even believe in land ownership because land belonged to everyone. They brought them disease. They brought them slavery. They destroyed their civilizations and forced them into a European-style civilization. Did they bring them freedom? Did they bring them liberty? Or did they bring them subjugation? And for the many West Africans that was brought over here, did they bring them liberty? Did they bring them freedom? Or did they bring them enslaved? As the Bible says, of the foreigners, you may buy your male and female slaves and own them as property and pass them down to your sons as property. So did they bring freedom to my ancestors, or did they bring slavery and barbarism to my ancestors? Both my ancestors who was already here and my ancestors who came from Africa. Did they bring them freedom? Ooh. And I know you may be saying right now, well, you're making this a color thing. You're making this about race. So for my ancestor who was Scottish, good old John Reed. Was it Jack or John? Jack or John, whichever one it is. I don't have it in front of me right now. Who came from Scotland, white dude, and came to America because as a Scotsman, his family was oppressed by the Anglicans. And so he left seeking freedom away from the oppression of the Anglican Christians. There are many Irish families, there are many Scottish families who will be able to make the same claim that the Christian Anglicans took their freedom, destroyed their lives, did not allow them to be able to live free in this area of the British Isles. And they decided that they were going to leave because there was no freedom in this Christianity. They couldn't even go to the schools. The schools is off limits to them. So they couldn't even do that unless they proclaimed themselves to be Christian. So they were forced into the religion in order for them to be able to have any levels of freedom. So no, even my Caucasian ancestors were forced into Christianity and lost freedoms and did not have liberty. When the Roman Empire came and crushed Germania and Britain, did they bring them freedom in Christianity? No. They stole their religions. They kept them from being Druids. They took away their freedom of religion, forced them into the Roman Empire. Matter of fact, Julius Caesar, even though this is before Christianity, said that the Britons were only good for the Colosseums and for slaves. And when Christianity took over, they forced all of them into Christianity under the thumb of Rome. Well, I should say the boot. It was more of a boot, not a thumb. So even though you can look at the number of people that these atheist leaders had killed over their lifetime, when you take hold of the entire history of Christianity and its spread, then all you see in the wake of Christianity is death and destruction. The conquistadors decimated the people of Central and North America and Mexico. They decimated the people of Venezuela, of Colombia. The people of Brazil were decimated by the Portuguese. The indigenous people were subjugated, and the slaves they brought over were subjugated. Christianity has done nothing but spread death in its wake. And only because we have grown more mature in our lifetimes over the last few hundred years, it has Christianity tried to take on this new image of being this nice, sweet, peaceful religion. But even as today, we see this Christian government stealing people's land, taking oil tankers that do not belong to them in the name of nationalism. So as far as your Christianity is concerned, it has killed more people on the planet than any other philosophy or theology. So whatever the hell, Christianity is not about freedom. It is not about bringing liberty to people. It has not brought that, and it never has brought that. People fighting against Christianity have brought that. So always remember, and let me be clear when I say that. When the abolitionists claim that it is through Christianity that they should believe the slaves should be free, that is them taking the words of the Christian Bible and warping it to fit their narrative so that they can still believe in it. The Bible actually tells you that who you're supposed to get your slaves from and how you're supposed to treat them. The Bible supports it. When women's liberation, when women wanted their liberty, although they may have used elements of the Bible is patriarchal and does not give women liberty, but tells women that they are to be subjected under the will of the man. So therefore, no, sir. Even the Christians who fought against the oppressive natures that has brought about our culture today, it is them actually going against their Christianity and renegotiating the text in order to make it fit their narrative. So true Christianity, the pureness Christianity of the Bible, does not bring freedom. It does not bring liberty. It brings slavery and mental slavery. So you have a great day, Ed. And always remember, you got to free yourself and be yourself because your greatness is non-negotiable. Ed.